Welcome to the Reticle Up podcast, where I, Three-Gun Kenzie, will be interviewing competitive shooters, hunters, fishermen, archers, entrepreneurs, and outdoorsmen. Come learn with me as I interview people from all walks of life, in different disciplines, all across the world, from novices to professionals of all ages. No matter what, everyone has something they can teach you, so come join me on the journey. Hey everyone, welcome to the Reticle Up podcast. I've got Greg Leitch on today. He's a competitive USPSA and three-gun shooter, and we met when I moved up here to Tennessee. Greg, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. Or maybe it was before that, but reconnected in Tennessee.
Oh, for those people who know Kenzie, I met you with a jar of pickles in your hand at the West Virginia three-gun match last year, and I thought that she's got it going on. She's
Nick Collier, that's Nick Collier. No, that was State. Yeah.
And it wasn't a small jar; it was the jar of pickles. It was awesome.
No. I gotta tell you about that real quick too. So Nick shows up with this jumbo Walmart or Sam's Club, whatever, pickle jar. So my buddy Scott thinks, it's a glass container that he's just gonna leave it and shut my tailgate, right? That the entire pickle jar leaked and cracked all over my tailgate, and I got home and it was just vinegar on my Voodoo tactical bag.
Yeah, not good.
No,
not good. And you can't just chuck that in the laundry. That's not a good clean.
No, but I went through a whole jar of pickles this past weekend at Nordic Vortex Trigun, and everyone had one. So
very cool.
Just
very
saying.
Cool.
So yeah, to get started, not digress. When did you first dip your toe into the competitive shooting market?
I started in high school. My high school had a competitive air pistol team. Pellet pistol, 10-meter postal matches, nationwide competition style stuff. And I imagine that would never fly in today's market, but it was great to have that entry point that really kind of passed over into getting into skeet and trap at my local gun club. Those guys were helping out with the pistol matches. Said, hey, you should come out on the weekends.
Yeah.
And so did that all through college, and never really knew there was a competitive market for years, because after college I got away from it. Yeah. And to tell you how it's funny, we can thank a grant meeting for bringing me back into competitive shooting. Huh. I work in youth development. And so I'm at a grant meeting, and the gentleman makes the comment that we should get your kids connected to cowboy action shooting.
Huh. Okay.
And I said, okay, sounds great. I want to see it before they do it. So I went to my first match, and literally there's gear and a rig sitting on the tailgate. And the guy says, man, put all this stuff on, put your eye on your pearl on, and let's go to work. And it was great. And he brought ammo and everything. And this was when I was living in Eastern Texas in June. So it's 1,000 degrees, and these guys are running around in wool outfits and heavy hats and having a great time. And I'm thinking, this is pretty cool. Yeah. And stuck with it. And from there, stayed with it till I transitioned. I moved from there to South Carolina. Obviously, competitive shooting in South Carolina, you can find something every weekend. So hooked up with several cowboy clubs there. But what I found in the translation was most of the cowboy clubs, the guys were 25, 30 years older than me. Mm-hmm. And I just never really felt like I connected with any peers. And so literally in the back of the magazine is, I start reading about, cowboy, about USPSA. You want to try something new, try USPSA. And so started to kind of ask questions about it. And Steve Walker, a friend of ours, double star guy, saw me make a post when I was at Palmetto State Armory's indoor range in Greenville, South Carolina, because it was a demo day. And I went down to check out the stuff. And he goes, man, if you love that, you got to try three-gun.
Yeah.
And so great. Tell me when. And very similar. Showed up at the range in Greenville, Tennessee, drove 3 hours for the match. Everything is laying on the back of the tailgate.
So you didn't have any of your gear for either match?
None.
Okay.
Showed up, shot what was handed to me, which was very comical because you've shot at that range, TAC too. The first stage was the back hollow stage, shooting 200-yard steel. And with Steve as the match director, it's offhand.
Of course.
And the rifle he gave me, all I have was a red dot.
Oh, okay.
So I'm shooting offhand in a non-dominant eye without good glasses. And I bet I shot 2 magazines of ammo. Didn't hit a thing.
Oh.
And I got done, and we were moving to the next stage. And I said, man, I think I should probably just go to my truck. And he goes, what do you mean? I said, I don't think I'm good at this. And he goes, well, that one was a little more challenging than it should have been for your first stage. So, and it did get much better from there. that was the upside. So I can thank a lot of neat people for helping me get into the sport, and now I can do anything else.
So we got to know, what was your cowboy alias?
Thunder Roads. Where I grew up in Eastern Tennessee, if you listen to country music, you know there's a lot of moonshine that comes out of these hills, and it was just that just felt right. It just felt like it.
Did you ever know a Shamrock Sadie in South Carolina?
I know the name, yes.
So we used to shoot cowboy action down in Florida. She's now in Arizona. She was kind of this incredible force to watch shoot. She would do gunfighter, the both hand shooting.
Mm-hmm.
So she's an amazing cowboy action shooter. If you ever reach out to her, and she was a little bit closer in age than like you said. There was nobody my age when I first showed up in my leather. I'm like, oof, hi,
And you want to go to those matches and win, but some of the matches I went to, I was 40 years younger, and I'm like, so thanks for letting me win, guys.
Not even now too. We've got there's a kid named Matt Black who's like a world champ, and it's crazy how many new people are getting into the sport now, for sure. But and then there's like 80-year-olds that can whoop my butt with
absolutely
stages. I was like,
that was there's one club near Walnut Grove in North Carolina that I went over to, and it was their Christmas match. So everything was lit up in Christmas lights and had this big cowboy meal, and and great fun and fellowship. And then I just beat my brains out. They beat me so badly. And then you have to drive home in the dark, which is even worse because I had no idea where I was going. And I'm like, wow, welcome to South Carolina.
Welcome. I'm surprised that 3-gun match didn't turn you off either, too. So for people listening, don't put them on a red dot with long range, which I'm sure is small targets too.
Yes. Yep. Yes. Offhand.
Yep.
So non-dominant, and I'm like, okay, no, this is not fun.
Horrible. That's horrible. So you've shot just about everything though. Like when it comes to shooting disciplines, you've tried IDPA, you've tried Steel Challenge. So you really found your niche in USPSA and 3-gun.
I did. Yeah. At USPSA, because I love the competitive edge of being able to shoot a fast stage, clear your head, move on to the next.
Yeah.
It's very methodical. It's plan it, shoot it, move on. And 3-gun is where you really can get yourself lost in the stage. I mean, I say that.
I know.
There's not a quick stage plan in 3-gun. You've got to put some time into this thing. You've got to think it through. And for those of us that work in very analytical careers, being able to not think about anything other than a stage plan is therapeutic.
Oh, yeah.
It's really good stuff.
Yes. And if you don't do stage walkthroughs at a major, like if you just show up for the 5-minute walkthrough, you're done.
Oh, yeah.
The jungle runs. Can you imagine? Oh my gosh.
There's a reason that there's a button that you can get. There's no cap out on failure to neutralize.
Right. Oh man. So let's talk a little bit about USPSA first. So I know you run a PCC now, but I was just curious. What divisions did you shoot before that, or have you always been like PCC guy?
Started in production, like a lot of people. Your plastic fantastic gun. The gun I was using in 3-gun showed up to a match. I'll tell on myself, I didn't read a lot of the rule set. I just knew production, you can only have 10 rounds. So I get to the first stage and I've got my mag carriers all around the front because it's my normal 3-gun rig. Yeah. And they call, and they're going through the roll call, and the guy pulls me to the side. He goes, "You're going to need to move those." Oh, yeah. Like, okay, got it. Cool. Thanks. Started in production, really, because that was what I had, and that's what made sense. Moved into shot limited all of last season. And really the PCC transition was, I knew people that shot PCC. I saw how much fun they had. I really enjoyed shooting a carbine in 3-gun. And I thought, and at the time, I just gotten a big promotion, and I'm thinking, I'm going to do something for myself. I'm going to order a PCC. I'm going to go all in, and then that's this season. It just made sense to stick with it.
That's so cool. So, okay, going back to production, for people listening on the podcast, they might not know this. It's now legal to have your mag carriers wherever you want.
Yes.
But back in the day, it was behind your hip bone.
Behind your hip bones.
Yeah, and I'm sure reloading was fun.
Reloading was fun, especially the big stages where you've got 5 and 6 magazines, and you're reaching halfway to the small of your back to try to find a magazine on the clock while you're running. It's all kinds of craziness.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh, what gun did you start with? What plastic fantastic did you start with?
I started with a Springfield XDM that I still have. Bought it, got a great deal on it, and it was one of those where find a gun for 3-gun that works, use it. Yep. Sent it off to Powder River Precision, had them completely rework it. And I've always jokingly said, you can have an expensive gun, but if you can't outrun the gun you have, you probably shouldn't club up just yet.
Yeah.
And I haven't had a reason to club up yet. So
Yeah.
it's still my go-to 3-gun pistol. Make all the Poors jokes that you want.
No.
It's a great pistol. And you know what? I watched a friend of mine at the Pro-Am one year with his $4,000 pistol throw it in the dump bucket. And some way, shape, or form, when he threw it in the dump bucket, the safety got bumped back off.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought to myself, you know what happens when I throw my pistol in the dump bucket?
Nothing. I know that's a big thing in 3-gun. And now there's some rule sets where it's like a stage DQ, some is like a safety violation of 30 seconds, which is not a small penalty. But I love my Canic. I got 2 Canics now, so I'm gonna run those.
Okay.
They're nice guns.
Right.
So what did you do to your XDM? You said you modified it a little bit, because I want to talk about that.
Powder River Precision does amazing work with guns. And so I sent it to them and I said, here's what I'm using it for.
Okay.
You've got 1,000 things on your website. You guys tell me what I need to add to this gun to be competitive in these sports. They trigger work, extended mag release, extended slide release, those things, changed out the sights, put really good sights on it. Tungsten guide rod, all those good things. Don't have a magwell on it. Don't think they need one.
Can't. It's illegal in production.
Right.
Yeah.
Wouldn't help me much anyway. But did everything they could do to make the pistol run, and I've never had an issue with it, knocking on wood.
Right.
Never had an issue, and it just works. It's easy to take apart, easy to clean, easy to find parts.
Awesome.
And it's funny because nobody seems to shoot them because the mags are really cheap. So pick up 4 or 5, and for the price of one MBX mag, and hey, I'm a winner.
Right. That's awesome. Okay, and then when you moved into limited, did you shoot the same gun, a different gun, 40, 45? What did you do? Or
switched over to a Para limited 40.
Okay.
Wanted a big steel frame gun, wanted a gun that was just going to be fun to shoot.
Yeah.
And it was. And they're built like tanks, and they run forever if you got the right parts on them. Right. And it just made sense. It felt good. It felt good in my hand. It was actually a friend brought one to the range and said, here, try this. And I went home saying, okay, yep, that's at that price point for as much as I was going to use it.
Right.
So, man, take a chance. Way out into the deep end of the pool, see what happens. And really enjoyed shooting. Still do. Shoot a little bit of limited, but still enjoy shooting it a lot.
That's amazing. A lot of people don't know, to go try guns if they can, or ask their friends to try guns. I think that's really amazing, because it curves the time that how many guns have we bought and sold because we don't like,
Now, I tell anybody, if you want to learn about guns, go to a match and say, hey, cool, what kind of gun do you have?
Yep.
And 15 people will line up to show you their stuff. Yeah. And I said, you don't have to go to the store and deal with the guy at the counter. Just go to a match and say that, and you'll be fine.
No, back in the day too, we would give you ammo as well, but now,
now not so much.
Yeah, right. Okay, so the PCC. I know that you're running that now. You're B class, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so am I. Coming at you, Greg.
Match bump.
You got it. I know. I'm ready. What kind of PCC do you shoot?
I've got a JP GMR 15.
Nice.
And it was funny when I first got it. You build up in your mind that you're buying the Cadillac PCC,
right?
And I didn't love it at first. The trigger never felt like it was mine, and just shot it. And you've heard me at matches say, if I can't figure this thing out, it's time to move on to a different platform.
Right.
If you're going to invest this kind of resource, then it needs to feel right.
Yeah.
And finally decided, let's put the exact same trigger in it that I've got in my 3-gun rifle.
In your rifle,
and did that, and it was like night and day.
Which is changed. What trigger?
The Hyperfire. What we used to be the 3-gun trigger, the 3GN, I think is what they called it. Now they've got some new designation for it. I had to look it up online to find out what trigger it was with the new name, and found one and put it in, and it changed the scope of how much I enjoyed PCC.
Yeah.
It felt like it was my rifle again.
100%. It sounds silly, but once you get moved up into sports, I did the same thing. I actually had a trouble adjusting from my backup rifle to the primary or what have you over a trigger, right? And you, oh my gosh, like you don't understand like trigger freeze or long range versus fast, paper targets or whatever. That's a big difference. So like, I love all these modifications you're sharing, because I think those are important for people to know to customize their gun to enjoy it.
Oh yeah. it's your gun, and you're going to spend a lot of time behind it.
Yep.
Get it the way you want. And if it doesn't feel right, move on to something else.
Yeah. Did you make any other modifications on it or change anything else?
I didn't. Got to, it's fun getting to order it. It's like ordering a new car when you order a JP rifle. So I really tweaked it up the way I wanted it to. Put magwell on it.
Nice.
The third magwell for that. Shout out to Jake Blimline and his crew for making really cool magwells. And but that's all the work I've done to it. And I put the exact same stock on it that I have on my 3-gun rifle.
Okay.
And so it looks a little odd. It doesn't look like it's a race gun for PCC.
Right.
But when I shoulder it and I pull the trigger, it feels the same.
That's awesome. So there was some stock trigger magwell.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. What ammo do you run through that right now?
I shoot with CNC ammo from Boiling Springs, South Carolina. Been with those guys since I lived over there. Amazing ammo. They're great to build custom loads for whatever you need.
Nice.
But and their ammo is great. And the cool thing about it, and I'll brag on him, he was still producing ammo during the pandemic. He was smart enough to stockpile primers and be able to do that. I had the opportunity to raise his prices and didn't.
Yep.
But it was, you had to come into the store and you had to buy it, so that he didn't want people buying it in bulk online and then reselling it. But never, and made sure there was always a box for everybody. He's great for new shooters. Really spends a lot of time supporting junior shooters. So I'm a CNC ammo guy.
I love it. Yeah. You find your people. Superville did the same thing. And then rise prices up and took care of their people. That's rare. So, okay. What grain do you shoot through? I meant to ask for the PCC.
115.
Okay. So you're running pretty fast.
For the PCC. Yeah. 147 for 3-gun.
Cool. Okay. And then what red dot you running?
I've got a Holosun. And I actually, it's one of the older tube style Holosuns. I like it because I don't get any glare off the front of it.
Yeah.
And it works for me. It works great. I love with the 2 MOA dot and then the 65 MOA circle. And, if you're shooting a plate rack, that circle comes in real handy. So I love it. Love it. It's funny. I've changed optics, but I always come back to the Holosun.
Yeah.
It works.
Did those have solar panels back then or?
No, they didn't.
Those are the original. That's what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I still love them. I didn't have that back then, but I love the solar panels. People don't know that you can run off sun, which we're outside all the time.
Imagine that. Never change a battery. Never have that moment of, why does my dot not come on when you're at the make ready command?
Oh, that's the worst. That's the worst. So, okay, PCC. I know you and I were talking about like B class or what we're trying to do with PCC coming up. So, what are your goals for PCC and USPSA that you're setting for yourself?
Every year, I kind of work around a 3-goal strategy. One is to move up in classification during the year. The other is to take notes and improve on things throughout the year. What did I do well? What did I not feel like I did well? And then find a way to improve and note that improvement. And then I pick one major a year in USPSA and then 1 in 3 gun. It's okay. Here's where I was last year. I want to be better. I want to be one step better every time. And so I pick one match every year. And then this year's the Area 8 Championships.
Nice.
Shot that well, but not great last year. And I want to shoot it. I want to shoot great this year.
I'll see you there. I didn't know you're going.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I did. I did know that. Different days.
I'll be working on stage 1.
Okay, cool.
See you there.
That's awesome. Those are good goals. When you set those too, are you actually writing those like pen and paper, or how do you do that? Yeah.
Yes. Old school pen and paper stuck on my workbench and with a reminder. And then I'll actually keep a journal throughout the year of things that I felt worked and didn't work. Lots of learning lessons from South Carolina section a few months ago.
Yeah.
That was a 3-hour drive home. And so I just turned on the notes feature of my phone and started talking, and then got home and transcribed it. Because I wanted to do it while I was still fresh in my head.
Yeah.
Because that match had a lot of challenges. There was a lot of, no shoot swingers and shots around odd angles and things that I had not practiced like I should have.
Well, we don't see them either.
We don't. The clubs we shoot here in Eastern Tennessee don't do that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So it was interesting. It was fun.
Yeah.
But it wasn't something I felt like I practiced. So I got exactly what I deserved when I tagged those notes.
I can't. Well, I'm like, Go Fast Don't Suck now makes that swinger. So I gotta order one of those for dry fire. But yeah, you said, I remember this vividly. Swingers ate my lunch.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, it was a very clear moment. It was wow. And they had so many of them back to back.
Yeah.
And so you walk to the third stage. Really?
Yep.
Really? Three in a row, 3 times I have to do this?
That's crazy. When I went to Two Gun, I think that match helped. So I did start learning timing. So I was watching videos of really the key is to figure out when you hit the activator, whether you can hit another target in between or you wait on it. But I heard you ambush it. This is how I'm learning. Don't know if that's true or not. But at Two Gun Nationals, I didn't miss a single swinger. And if you saw one of those videos where I just steal, I waited on it at least, but attack, and it was clean. I was like, oh,
okay, cool. Good tip.
yeah. Someone else taught me that. They said, ambush it where it drops. Don't chase it around. Don't start up here, literally activator and where it's going to pop out.
And then just go after it. Okay, cool.
Yeah. At least it's easier too on brown. I don't know about A zones, but
yes, we'll see how that goes.
Right. Yeah. Man. So area 8. I know you went South Carolina sectionals. What's been like your most memorable, like major USPSA match?
Most memorable, I would say, was area 8 a year ago. Okay. And the reason being is I got to shoot with Nils on staff day, which if you want to see someone who enjoys the sport and is a true ambassador, shoot with Nils.
I got to do that this year.
Really, really great guy.
Brilliant.
And then I worked a stage. And so getting to watch the super squads come through, watching Kristen Saylor shoot a stage in a third of the time that it took everyone else. And the CRO on the stage, I said, look, if you don't mind, I don't want to be the RO running them.
Right.
Put me on. I need to watch this. I will regret if I don't get to enjoy this experience. And it was neat. That was the first big level 3 match I'd worked. And it was really neat to see and to get to see how differently people shot the same stage.
Oh yeah.
You watch 400 people do something and there's 400 different variants. And you're thinking, okay, stage planning matters.
So were you on a stage that you did well on, like what you were ROing? Did you do well on that stage or poorly?
I did well compared to some of the other stages, and because there wasn't a lot of room for error. You had to focus. There was when I say low port, I mean low port. Like if you can't do splits on the move, that was going to be a challenge for you. And so I felt like I shot it very well, but then I see other people shooting. I'm like, wow, yeah, okay. I would never have imagined taking some of the shots through the low ports that they took.
Right. Yeah.
It just blew me away. I mean, it looked very linear to me until I saw the people shoot. I'm like, oh, wow. I had no clue.
So cool though. You learned a lot. Do you ever, I guess when you go back through your videos, do you ever look at your videos and analyze too, like to see what you did or didn't do?
Oh, I totally do. The Go Fast Don't Suck guys with their setup at area 8 last year, really with that aerial cam was really cool to be able to capture that. And I watched it and you go back and it was one of those where you don't notice it while you're shooting, but when you watch the video, the light bulb comes on and I was chasing points. I was, let's get as many points in the A zones because I'm shooting minor power factor. It was that transition from limited where you just go after it to, I've got to get points. And I noticed that taking that extra half second in each shooting position to get good A zone, I think I finished that match with 96% of the points available.
Nice. And
still finished mid pack. And it's because I was very slow and it looked great if you were scoring for accuracy, but this is an accuracy plus speed game. Right. So I left one piece out of that equation and it showed on the scorecard. I'm like, wow, man, that was not a 25-second stage, but I sure made it look like that.
Oh, wow. Well, there's an episode before this or when this comes out with Blaine and Bryce Dupuis. They actually taught me a lot about array scoring for speed versus accuracy. And it was, I probably got it wrong, but it was like the distance targets. Obviously, a lot of people are going to throw mics or deltas or what have you. So if you don't focus as much on those, because those are not as high points, right? Then you do the close arrays where it might be a set of 4, which is the fastest, where you really focus on your alphas. It was just brilliant because I don't really understand a lot of that.
Yeah. It's going to matches and just listening. Yeah. Being smart enough to listen. Yeah. Not talking away while everybody's doing their walkthroughs or what are you going to do? Man, just listen. Just listen. People will come up with really cool stuff and you'll pick up on it. Don't try to seek it. People will share it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Or just go watch people on walkthrough day. Go find the pro squad. Watch them. And like you said, just watching them shoot. I think that's what a lot of people miss out on too, is working majors. You're going to learn so much. And even you're going to see your stage shots so many different ways that it'll really help you think about stages differently the next time. So what about your favorite squad you've ever shot on for USPSA?
Best squad would probably be one of my squads here recently at a club match. Got the opportunity to shoot with Paul Kerr and Gilbert Perez.
Yes.
And not only is it fun to watch them and to see the talent they bring, but to be a fly on the wall and listen to them talk trash to each other is just great. And especially when you shoot the stage, you do it well. We all make a comment about, that's not bad for a guy with bad eyes and corrected vision. And then you beat one of the two.
Yeah.
And like one stage I beat Gilbert, and then it wasn't a big beat, but I beat him.
Sure.
And
win's a win.
That's right. But Paul did not miss the opportunity to make sure that Gilbert knew that, the guy with bad eyes and bad knees beat him. So it was pretty fun.
I love it.
There's just a lot of good energy. I always find it fun to shoot with people that love the sport, because that love of the sport is going to come out in the way they shoot, the way they interact with people. And the other thing is, people that love the sport for what it is, you never have to remind them, because I end up ROing a lot. You never have to remind them to reset and paste. They're the first ones out there. They're just good, genuine people.
Can you say that louder for the people in the back?
there is, everybody resets. Everybody should paste.
Oh man.
Those that don't, there's this really cool button on the tablet called Procedural. And man, I got an itchy trigger finger on that tablet. So don't go there. I work as match director for a match in South Carolina, and just recently getting ready to pass that off to someone else. It was a club we started at CNC. It's a great little match. And so one of the things I coached him on was, man, don't be afraid to turn around and say, it's time to reset.
Yeah.
And say it once, say it twice with authority, and then start hanging procedures. It's an evening match. You'll be here on midnight.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That was like a blue line. Actually, Bruce was so happy. She's like, oh my gosh, you guys are this far ahead. And it's like, well, we reset and there's a bajillion stages for 5 minutes each. Like, no, I'm like,
oh yeah,
we'll be there all day. Gosh, yeah. That's awesome. Oh, and I don't know if you want to mention too, do you know a little bit about Gilbert, coaching Paul?
Yes.
Do you want to share a little bit about that story?
Sure. Really Gilbert runs a Patriot Shooting Academy and really has done an amazing job of coaching up shooters. The thing that I think, and I'm not speaking for Gilbert, I don't represent Gilbert's stuff, but I will tell you what he teaches his students about draw speed is worth worth the class. Whatever the class fee is, whatever the ammo read, you can spot a Gilbert trained shooter on the range as soon as the buzzer goes off. That's cool. Because their draw speed is amazing. When your draw speed is on someone else's video on YouTube, you're fast.
Yeah. And
that's what Gilbert teaches. It's really
a scoop
cool.
draw, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it is, blink and you'll miss it.
Yep. And I talked to him at, I want to say Low Cap Nationals. It's like, Gilbert, need help in Tennessee now. I need card,
Yes.
So,
yes.
He said he's going to put up some classes.
We need to talk.
Yeah. Cause I was like, I'm done. And I think Paul shared something where he was like C class. And then I think in a couple of months, he was already up to M.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
oh yeah.
Crazy.
It's all about technique and practice.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's switch gears. We're going three again.
Cool. Back to the roots.
Right. So gotta ask, started off, we open or we tack ops?
Tack ops.
Yes. Sorry, open shooters.
I like shotguns that work.
Right? Yeah. God, that's literally the problem. So you do help run TAC 2 3-gun series here up in Eastern Tennessee. So what's it like being a match director for 3-gun?
It is a lot of fun the 2 weeks before the match, because you get to do stage design, which is just crazy fun. It's a lot more fun setting it up, because then you get to tweak it and see and think in your mind what it's going to look like. And then match day comes and it's a little nerve wracking, because it doesn't matter how many extra details you check. There's always one thing that could go awry. And so you spend all day worrying, is that swinger going to swing every time? Is that prop going to hold up? And so you worry about it a lot. To the extent I really understand and appreciate and have started to adopt the mantra of, don't try to get involved in your own match.
Yeah.
Build your match, set it up, let the ROs do their job, and run around and fix stuff.
Yeah.
Just be Mr. Fix It for your match, because you know how it went together to begin with.
Yeah.
But anything more than that, you just can't focus.
No, you need to actually enjoy it. That's the hardest part about being a match director, I think, is shooting a match. Goodness. And props are not going to go off 100% of the time.
Right.
They're not 100%. Just give up. So designing stages though, what are your favorite to design?
I love stages that make you think. I
Okay.
don't like to hide targets. I'm not a intentionally setting people up for failure type of match director,
Mhm.
but I want you to I don't want you to walk up to my stage and everybody go, okay, and then go get a bottle of water
Right.
and wait for the 5 minute walkthrough to be over. I want you to walk around and then I want you to kind of look and look up at the sky like people do, and then walk it again and then come back and say, 12, yeah, yes, 12 targets. 12 targets, go find them. You can do this. But it's so much fun to see how that works and letting people go through all that themselves.
Yep.
I want you to think. And I like high round count, which has been really challenging in a pandemic.
Yeah.
You don't want to put people, but people come to the range to shoot.
Yep.
And when you shoot 3-gun, you want to shoot a lot. So I like stages that involve reloads.
Yeah.
I like creating stages that equalize the balance between open and tac op shooters.
Mhm.
I like to create that opportunity for a tac op shooter to walk up to that stage and say, man, I can win this thing.
Right. Yeah.
I
Because
can shoot
it's
this
about
better.
the time, right? So say you have an open person doesn't have to reload, attack ops could still have that same time because they're reloading
Right.
movement.
Right.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of thought. I usually will take probably 3 to 4 hours a couple weeks before the match
Wow.
and sit down with the miniatures on a green board and literally think through, okay, it being a shooter, how would I want to shoot this? And then when we put it on the ground, I ask the exact same question. How would I shoot this?
Hmm.
And then, okay, this makes sense now. I understand it, making sure it all works. We have a match this past weekend where there were targets that everything was where you could see it,
Mhm.
but you couldn't see it all from any one place.
Gotcha.
And I forced the shooters to go into shooting lanes where they had to put their feet on the front fault line. So you had to go into that space. So
Yep.
I made it where you had to see it if you wanted to go see it. Not everybody did, and it was one of those aha moments where they go, "Oh yeah, you're right." And so they walk and say, "Man, that was a great stage."
That's cool.
I may have bombed it, but that was a great stage. Those are the best.
Yeah.
When you hear them putting their gear back in their cars in the parking lot and they're still talking about a stage, that was a good stage.
That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, every time I go to a major, there's so many stages I want to shoot over just because it was pure fun.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah. And you'll shoot it and then you'll go back and you'll say, man, I want to shoot that whole stage with just my PCC.
yeah.
How much fun would it be just to run through there, just blazing away with that thing? It'd be so much fun. We had a jungle run stage in our match on Saturday. And I was just thinking, this would have been so much fun with the PCC. Just
Falling
way too
steel is fun with PCC.
Falling steel is awesome.
That is my favorite thing to do. And I shot that with
more
pistol.
steel, the better.
Yeah. Oh my God. Shot that when I first got my Atlas. I was like a month in and went and shot it. And I was like second overall for the whole match. I was like, it's a pistol, but it made it fun. That's the thing. It was like with PCC, it's fun for sure. And then like when you get a gun that you love, you just want to shoot over and over again. But yeah, I went to just the shotgun jungle runs. I want to reshoot that for fun, whether I did bad or good. I just, yeah. Anyways, I digress. So designing stages, do you design them for like, your favorite kind of stages to shoot? Or are you still trying to mix in, everybody's kind of strengths and weaknesses?
I like to mix it up.
Okay.
I'll take you from a 60 round base stage to a 15 round speed shoot
nice.
In a hurry, because I really want to mix it up. I don't ever want any of my matches to become normal.
Right.
Normal's boring, and we didn't come there to be bored.
I won't mention the club, but they use the same USPSA stages and then just add some 3-gun stuff to it. I'm like, I just shot this.
Yeah, no, I'm good. Thanks for giving me the heads up. I appreciate the cliff notes in the parking lot.
You're welcome. Yeah, right. Okay, here's something you'd be brutally honest about.
Okay.
What is one thing that you wish everyone knew about the match director role?
You have to be patient, and because there are people that when they pull in the parking lot are just going to be a headache, because they and I'm sure everyone saw the memes here recently on 3-gun memes about the rereading the stage brief. Man, that's a real thing.
I know.
My favorite is you're 5 shooters in, and they walk over and say, how many targets? Are you the on deck shooter? No. Okay, cool. Go count.
Okay, cool.
Go count. When you're pasting, you go count. because I've read it 3 times and,
but
you'll be
they
okay.
haven't pasted. Duh.
They haven't pasted either.
They haven't reset.
So,
they haven't picked up clay. They don't know where anything's at.
but I will tell you from my perspective, the thing that people know, I don't tell people how much I love it, but I love coaching a shooter who's coachable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Someone who comes to the match and says, man, I've got guns and I got ammo, but I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Teach me Obi-Wan. And you get to say, if you do this, this, and this, and tell me what happens. And they do it. And then you know what happens when they get done, they look at you. And it's that look. It's that this was the coolest thing I've done all week look. And you're like, yep, that made it worth the 6 hours of setup out here in the 90-degree heat. That was worth it.
And I bet you $100, you told yourself the same thing and didn't execute as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Every time. I'm like, damn it. Why can't I listen to myself?
What was I thinking?
But I think that's true of anything. When I was coaching softball, high school softball, and like when you literally see someone execute exactly what you just taught them, that's rewarding for both them and you. And you're just like, oh, I did that. Oh, it's just anything in life. It's so amazing. So be open. I think even the top shooters now too, right? Like they're still open about being coached or having something pointed out to them. They're not just going to be closed off because they want to learn.
I tell people all the time at the range, if we were perfect, they'd pay us to do this. So accept coaching, accept responsibility. Things happen, it's part of the sport.
Oh. You mean you're not paid like a really good salary to be a match director?
No.
People need to know that. They don't know that.
That's remember those guys that are doing that are there smiling when you show up. Yeah. We're sweating and grumpy the day before during setup. Oh, and after you're gone and you've left your candy bar wrappers and your water bottles and all your garbage all over the range, we're going to be the ones that go back and clean it up.
It kills me. Or the ROs. Or the ROs.
That's right. Or the
I'm
ROs
the cleanest bay on the range. I remember 2 gun nationals. I'm like, what? Or the paster trash put in the bucket. What?
You're standing next to a garbage can, man. Make it easy. It's real simple. Gravity will do the work. Just stand there and release.
We can't go too far down the weeds. Okay. Back to positive. What do you love about 3-gun?
I love shooting shotgun targets. And I know that sounds pretty basic, but for somebody who shot a lot of skeet and trout in many years ago, the shotgun just feels right. Yep. And I shoot it really well. And there's nothing more rewarding than picking that thing up, firing 9 rounds, no misses, clean, just bing, bang, boom, done. Yep. And hearing people behind you go, ooh,
Yep.
Wow. That was pretty impressive.
Oh yeah.
One of my shooting buddies will always comment in the walkthrough. He's like, this is where you'll get me.
Shotgun.
Pointing at the shotgun taste. This is where it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And so it's a confidence booster. That's the best. But I also love the complexity of 3-gun and the ability to move around and shoot and really, really enjoy the day. A 3-minute stage, you're exhausted, but the adrenaline is so high when you finish that you're like, man, this is amazing. This is really cool.
100%. I wish everything was more shotgun dominant. Of course it's not. So that was only clean, maybe 2 clean stages. No, maybe, I don't know. Shotgun and clay aerials, easy. Mm-hmm. Every single one. Got him done. I just feel like it's so much fun to shoot, and it's the easiest gun to shoot, hardest one to load. So
hardest one to load, easiest to shoot.
Yeah, that's the gap in the time for sure. Mm-hmm. Okay, this might give you a minute to think, but I've been asking a lot of shooters here that go to matches. What is one piece of gear or one tool that you don't leave home with for a match? And it can't be a firearm because duh. Okay. But
easy answer. Okay. And going to throw a shameless plug out there for Hunters HD Gold.
Yeah.
Brian changed my game. Mm-hmm. I've got terrible eyes and horrible astigmatism. Oh. And to the extent that, I went to my eye doctor and I said, there's a company that makes shooting glasses. Write the prescription. And I even showed him match video. This is what I want to do. Tell him what I need and send it to them. And it has changed the way I shoot.
I didn't know that. For
there's
people listening.
There's a level of confidence when I put those glasses on and I can see.
Yeah.
It just makes, because you put your daily glasses on every day and do your thing. And there are things that are blurry, this and the other. But when I'm on the range and I put those glasses on, it's a level of confidence to say, I can see everything out here clearly. Now, if I miss, it's on me.
Right. That's a whole unfair advantage. Now, for astigmatism too, does the holographic sights work better than red dots?
To an extent.
Okay.
For me, it's both jarbled. It's a giant starburst.
Okay.
But with Brian's glasses, it tames that starburst for me so I can enjoy shooting.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and I've told him that. When I see him at majors, he just looks at me and grins, and I'm like, thank you.
It's a big deal.
I know you're here to make money, but man, thank you.
It's a big deal. I know. I mean, I wear them and I don't have any problems, but when I hear people about color blindness too, when we came out with the rubies, and that story, I didn't know that. So I didn't pay Greg to share that. But yeah, Hunter's HD Gold can really do a lot of things. You're eye doctor too. I know we're getting on a different subject, but what did you talk to your eye doctor about in terms of what you needed, like for shooting or working with a gun-friendly doctor, right? To be able to get it right for shooting purposes. I don't know if you want to share anything about that experience, because a lot of people don't have that.
It's hard to, because most people outside of our world equate shooting to punching holes in a piece of paper at 50 feet.
Yep.
Going to the range, hanging a target, running it out 10 yards, bing, bang, boom, shoot a box and no more. They don't realize that we are transitioning between a fiber optic sight and a magnified sight and a holographic sight. And so all these things are happening at the same time. And this is a timed game. So we can't take time to let our eyes focus. It just needs to work. And so that was a lot of the conversation. And it was, I need to be able to hit a target at 6 feet and then hit a target at 600 yards.
Right.
And here are the things that I do, and here's how I do it. And I was very transparent. I said, yeah, this is something I do to relax and enjoy the weekend. And so I want to be able to do that. So help me get to where I want to go.
That's amazing. I mean, and then it's important, I think, to have a doctor who cares.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
that you can be honest with.
Yeah.
Don't sell me a pair of glasses. Fix my eyes.
Right.
If you fix my eyes, I'll buy all the glasses you can sell.
I love it. But that's awesome. I'm glad you shared that. We're trying to get more gun-friendly doctors across the nation to basically put themselves on our website so people can also have the same experience that you just did. So I probably already know the answer to this question though. Is it shotgun? What is your favorite gun out of the 3-gun and why?
Definitely shotgun. And I'll be the first one to admit, I don't shoot a fancy Benelli. I shoot a Stoeger M3K, and because it's a great gun, I know how to work on it. It fits me. It feels right, and it runs great. It's got all MOA precision parts in it, and it runs. And I will tell you, for those of you that own one, if the maintenance, there's a guy on YouTube who has a video where he cleans it with a pot of boiling water, literally on like a 2-burner stove somewhere in the hills of West Virginia. But he's talking about getting it ready for turkey season. And I was having trouble getting the gun to run reliably. And I said, I'm searching videos and I find this one. And I said, well, I got nothing to lose. And so
$500, cheap shotgun.
Exactly. Take all the parts out, do exactly what this guy did. If I tear it up, I'm good. and doing that and then putting it back together the way the guy said, putting the oil in the right places. Do that once a season, and it runs all season. Okay,
so disclaimer, do not do that because we said do it, but
that's right. If you trust the guy on video that is boiling water with a Walmart kettle,
it's on you.
That's right. You made a choice. For me, it works great.
Yeah, no, I ran my Stoeger this past weekend, and I've been through Benelli after Benelli after Benelli, which it ran too. But the Stoeger is now my primary trust in it. My buddy has the MOA Stoeger.
Yeah.
He was, sick at the time that I was getting into 3-guns, so I wanted MOA. Didn't get that. It's okay. But Keegan Singleton worked on my gun, and it runs.
Oh yeah.
Nothing better than a running shotgun.
They're the way to go. They just work.
Yeah, 100%. So Stoeger definitely. And I think the gunsmithing work, I don't know about you, was more expensive than the gun.
Oh, absolutely. Here's my $1,200 shotgun. They're not. Yes, trust me.
Yep. This was $400. No, now it's $12.
No, trust me on this one.
Love it. Okay, so now that you've evolved with all the guns and stuff, so you shoot a Stoeger. What gun do you run in 3-gun again? Remind me for pistol, and then what rifle do you run?
Depends on the match. Either the XDM with all the
nice.
Powder precision parts, or I'll run a Para sometimes.
Cool,
because it's fun to shoot, and I know it's going to work. The rifle I use is actually a Cold Spring Enterprises build. Many of you guys know Ben Fleener through PRS matches. He shoots for JP. So cool. Ben lives here in Northeast Tennessee and is a really good friend. And when it came time to put together a 3-gun rifle, Ben and I met at a 3-gun match.
Okay.
I said, okay, Ben, you're a gunsmith. You got a shop. You do a lot of work. let's build a rifle.
Nice.
And he goes, what do you want to do with this? And I want to be able to hit steel at 600 yards and not worry about it. Okay. So we built a rifle that does all that.
Awesome.
And hyper fire trigger and Athlon glass and all the neat things that go with it. And it's a great rifle. Awesome. You got to trust somebody that JP trusts to shoot long range.
Yeah. Do you run mills or you run MOA?
MOA.
Okay. So I switched over to mills. And it's funny because I was hitting 350, which is not very far this weekend. I was like, oh, that was easy. But I didn't have a hold at MOA anymore for 600 when I was shooting at 1 to 6. I don't know what Athlon. Which Athlon do you have?
1 to 6.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I ran out of space. It's cool.
Yeah.
Do you chrono all your ammo and stuff?
I don't, because I usually will kind of describe the match I want to shoot to the guys that run CNC.
Okay,
and
cool.
They help put the ammo together, and then I bring it down there. We chrono it together sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, rifle ammo is pretty easy. Pistol ammo, if you're shooting 3 gun, it's not a huge deal. You want it to have enough, you want it to knock down steel. Get there, do that. But shotgun ammo, you got to be real careful with that. Make sure it's got to run in your gun. 1,300 feet per second. Just do it. Whatever the manufacturer says, do it. Do what they say.
Yeah.
If it says 1,300, don't run 1,280.
God.
Run 1,300.
Yeah. And I mean, with ammo shortage now, I've seen so many people try and use different stuff, and I'm just like, oh, please, no.
Oh, yeah. That's another great silent match director tip. If it's not a gun that you would normally run in 3 gun, but you have ammo for it, don't bring it to 3 gun.
Ew.
Your M1 carbine can stay home. Bring your AR and we'll have a good time. So,
oh my goodness. Oh, for the XDM2, did you put a magwell on, or are you still running it like
I did.
production?
Still running it the way it works.
Oh my God, you're crazy. I couldn't do it. So wrapping up 3 gun, how has 3 gun helped you like in your personal life? Like you said, a little bit, it's your stress management, right? But tell me a little bit about the community.
There are no better people out there than 3 gunners. They're genuine. They're sincere. We're the most supportive group I've ever seen. And I work with a lot of organizations, and they're just great people. And it's very therapeutic. It's fun to get lost in it.
Yeah.
It's fun to be able to turn work off for a day and just get lost in the match. Majors are awesome because not only do you get to get lost for the day, you can go to dinner, hang out with your friends, turn it off, and the next day you're right back and it's something brand new. It's really exciting. Yeah. It's been very helpful for me to kind of stay focused. One of the things that I catch myself doing at home a lot is the whole economy of motion. I won't move across the kitchen in the morning to the coffee maker unless I do 3 things in transit.
Okay.
Okay. Like, wow. Okay. Didn't realize I was going to do that, but that's pretty cool.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. 3 gun. And you get to say that you get to share the same war stories with everyone.
You really do. And USPSA is a fast sport.
It is.
3 gun is fast with enough opportunity for us to fall down, for us to stumble, for us to yard shells all over the ground. So, but the beauty is it happens to all of us.
Yeah.
And so, the conversations, around the dinner table that night of, man, our yard sale, shells all over that thing.
Oh yeah.
Man, at least you didn't fall down. Those kind of comments. And it's just, we're all in this little show together, and it's fun. And if you bomb a stage, man, you get frustrated, but it's not the end of the world.
No, definitely not 3 gun. Yeah.
No, 3
you
gun,
don't know what other people doing.
And I'll share a funny story about 3 gun. 2018 Pro-Am at Rock Castle, first stage, and we're getting all our stuff out. We're getting set up, and there's a squad ahead of us, and they're shooting. And so we put all our guns on the staging area table and all this, and we're down doing our walkthrough. And the group that shot ahead of us, the guy gets in his truck, puts it in reverse, doesn't pay attention to where he's going, hits the table, and drives over my rifle.
It still
drives away. Okay. So I'm like, okay. Now later he caught up with me. I think somebody said, hey, there's gonna be a guy looking for you. It's not gonna go well. He catches up. He's like, man, I'm so sorry. I'll whatever I gotta do to make it right, I'll do it.
Right.
But that when you're at a major, you don't get to call timeout and run to the range and re-zero. So, literally I'm pulling mud. I'm running a rock, trying to get the mud out of the barrel of this thing. And they call me to the line. Well, luckily the ROs there saw what happened. And so I get up in the line, and the RO says, man, it had targets out to 200 yards. He goes, man, he goes, just throw a couple of shots and I'll help you walk it in.
Oh,
I'm like, awesome, cool. So I get up there and I shoot another one. And he goes, man, shoot another one. Shoot it. He goes, I have no idea where it's going. And I'm like, oh, okay, great. This is going to be a great day.
okay, great.
So day one, every stage had some type of long range target. So you finish day one and you're thinking, man, I'm coming in dead last. This is not going to go well.
Right.
And so after at the end of the day, one of the guys I'm shooting on my squad said, man, you've had a really bad day. Shoot my rifle the rest of the match.
Oh, wow.
And I said, cool. Because I mean, there's just no way. Shoot the rifle, long story short, I get home. This thing is 4.5 inches low and 6 inches to the left.
No way.
Oh, yeah. No, it was, I mean, I couldn't have hit the barn, much less shooting around it. And so, but I finished the match and I'm driving home. And, it's one of those where you don't stay for the prize table. Yeah. You just need to leave.
Yeah.
This has not been my weekend. I love you guys, but I'm bailing. So match is over. I'm halfway home. The phone rings. And he goes, his man scores are posted. And I said, okay, gloat, have fun. He goes, man, I'm not calling to gloat. Excuse me? He goes, you finished in the top half. I said, whoa, wait a minute. I said, I'm better off throwing rounds at the target day one. And I still did reasonable. And so that's one of those that cements that feeling of, man, this is fun. Yeah. And don't get so wrapped up in it. Yeah. Just get out there and have a good time. Enjoy yourself. I would have been fine coming in dead last.
Yeah.
It wasn't my fault. I had fun with my friends.
Sure.
And it really made all the difference in the world. But yeah, I'm that, it was funny because, Dave Power, I sent him a message over the week. I said, man, great match. Move the safe table, put up cones, put up blinkers, whatever you got to do, man. Just don't let the guy run over my rifle again, please.
I bet he did though.
He did. Yeah, it was good. The guy made it right. He was a good guy.
Still.
Yeah. No, it was funny when he walked over when they caught up, but he walked real slow. It was like, hey, I'm, from 50 feet, I'm the guy.
Jesus. Oh, that's horrible. Hey, really, you got your engagements as long as you shot at them.
I did. Not anywhere close to hitting him. Man, I shot at him.
4 and 6. Jesus. Nope.
Oh yeah. Nope. Oh yeah. I mean, it was an all day get it back where it needed to be kind of moment.
Yeah. Oh goodness.
Is it? Do I love it? Absolutely.
Yeah. It was worth it. And then the rifle that you borrowed ran.
Right. And you get a great story. And when you show up at matches, people recognize you because we've all got our name on our shirt, but you don't really notice that sometimes you didn't see somebody in a year. Like, you're the truck rifle guy. Yeah, that's me. Good to see you again, man. So,
truck rifle guy. Oh God.
I've heard that 3 times. It's awesome. You're the truck rifle. Yeah, that's me. Yeah. Oh. That dude really did run over your rifle. Yeah, he really ran over my rifle.
Funny. David Powers, move the table. Oh man. That's funny. So I was told I have to bring this back in all of the podcasts I do in the future. Mm-hmm. For new rapid fire questions about range snacks. Okay. You can only choose one. Ready?
Go.
Cucumbers or pickles?
Pickles.
Yep. Pedialyte or Gatorade?
Pedialyte.
Good.
Powder.
Powder, yeah. Bottle. There we go. Granola or Cliff Bars?
Granola. Too much sugar in Cliff Bars.
Didn't know that. Fruit or nuts?
Nuts on the range, fruit before.
Okay. Beef jerky or a meat stick?
Neither.
Really?
Not a jerky fan.
Oh, sad. Okay. Yeah. Banana or apple?
Apple.
Okay, there we go. So wrapping that up, how important is nutrition on the range, Greg?
Huge. Huge. Have a real breakfast. Get up, eat. Think about it the night before. As much fun as it is to come to the range from a very fun and exciting night. You're not going to shoot as well as you want. Get your head right. Get a good breakfast. Stay hydrated. They laugh at me at our matches because I have the safety moment. Please stay hydrated. Please snack. Keep your blood sugar up. Put on sunscreen.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, you're going to have a better day, and they're going to leave with an opinion of your match saying, I had a really good time today because I felt right. And last year shooting the Atomic Blast on staff day, it wasn't one of those where you just you're having to tweak and move and do all those things, getting it ready. And I broke my own rule. I didn't hydrate. I didn't eat like I should have.
Yeah.
And I'm walking to the last 2 stages, and I'm already starting to feel that euphoric lightheadedness. And literally, it was a Snickers commercial. My friend Gary hands me a packet. He's like, "You need to eat something."
Yep.
Oh yeah, you're right. I do.
Yep.
No,
That's half the
great.
battle.
It really is. And
Yeah.
if you think about it, we're running around with guns. I don't think I want somebody lightheaded running around with guns and tripping and falling.
Nope. Just someone fully not lightheaded, tripping and falling.
Exactly. Now you can do that well hydrated and all those things, but you have fun doing.
I do. Have you ever left the range, without blood or sweat or tears on you?
Oh no. It's I'm the king of putting the staple through his hand when you're putting targets up as a match trainer.
That's
and it was lengthwise through the thumb, not front to back, lengthwise.
Oh
yeah, it was not a good day. And I'm like, man, I've put 1,000 staples up today, and then had to do that, and now I do.
Of course, of course. Oh my goodness. Okay, so more important matters as we wrap up here. You work a lot with the youth. You mentioned that in the beginning, putting on camps for kids. They get to learn how to shoot safely and shoot action sports. So tell me about that experience and what the camps are about.
One of the things that I do, I'm the executive director of a large not-for-profit that works with young people here in Northeast Tennessee and Southwest Virginia. And our mission is all about outdoor experiences and teaching character and values. And so we operate an 1,860 acre facility on Cherokee Lake. And one of the things that we do there is we teach safe gun handling and a variety of shooting sports programs. We want to introduce children in a safe and nurturing environment to the shooting sports. And not only because of the maturity that comes from that, but we like to pride ourselves on eliminating the curiousness of shooting sports. Because our kids see it on TV every day. There's not a television show on there that doesn't have some type of guns.
Video game.
In it.
Yeah.
And video games. And if you know there are guns in your parents' closet and you don't understand how they work, that's how accidents happen.
Yep.
And so we like to create that environment. And we're in the process of building it probably takes about another year and a half before we get it finished, a shooting sports education center for children, 15 bay facility where kids can come and really get a sampling of every single variety of action sports. Because you know what? Steel challenge may not be for everybody.
Yeah.
USPSA might not be for everybody. NRL 22 might be what turns your crank. So but if we can immerse them after we get them through the first steps and basic marksmanship and say, okay, doesn't matter to me what sport you walk away from this in love with, as long as you walk away from this loving sport.
Right.
And that's important because, you go to our matches and the median age is not 25 and our sport is not going to grow unless we solidify our base. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be pasting when I'm 80.
I was about to say,
I'm not resetting steel, in my golden years. I had no desire to do that. I kind of see it as a mission because I get to connect my paying gig with my passion, and it's a lot of fun to get to do that. And children are the easiest to work with when it comes to shooting sports because most have not developed any bad habits.
Right.
You don't have to undo what they think they know. Yep. And the joy and the excitement in a child's face when they hit that first bullseye, that's the paycheck to doing what we do. It's, as you can imagine, it's a little stressful operating an 1,800 acre facility and all the personalities and mechanisms that make that work. But we do it for that moment, that moment of when the child really gets it, that makes it worthwhile. So we're really excited to expand those programs. We'll be launching Steel Challenge this fall. We've already launched USPSA. And so we're inviting parents to come out. Even if you're not a part of our program, come out and bring your son, bring your daughter. And if you do nothing but watch, just come watch.
Yeah.
Come learn what this is all about. We're going to do some specialty programs this summer. We're going to introduce kids to NRL 22.
Cool.
And give them the opportunity to understand, what is precision shooting. And I jokingly tell people, if you launched a program and you told kids they were going to come to camp for a week and they were going to learn algebra and geometry, would they come?
Kenzie would, but no.
Kenzie would, but they wouldn't.
I used to be a mathlete. Go ahead.
I'm with you. I love math.
But
That's my world. Now interject PRS shooting.
Yeah.
And the calculations that go with that. And now I've got kids having fun doing math in the summertime.
Exactly. Or like me, it's exercise without having to think about it.
Exactly. So no, it's a lot of fun.
Surprised how many miles you track resetting on your phone. I think I did. You saw the post, 25 miles one week. 23 another. It's insane. And how important is it, like, nowadays, getting kids off their phones, getting them outside?
The reason number 212 while we do all this at our facility because we don't have high-speed internet throughout the property.
There's no even cell service.
That's right. We're going to take you way out of your comfort zone and get you in an environment where you can think, where you can enjoy the experience, where you can bond with other people. We're just going to get you away from all that. It's I jokingly say we're three mouse clicks away from everything in the world, and we're teaching children they don't have to work as hard.
Yeah.
And that's a scary thing. So we want them to come out and appreciate the joy of shooting, but also understand why we paced and reset.
Yep. And like
we
you
do
said,
it because
character.
we want to pass that to the next person, and we bring it to build their character.
Yeah.
We pride ourselves on putting kids in situations where we call it comfortable failure. We're gonna put you in an environment where it's okay to fail, because we're gonna turn into a learning moment. You know, if those kids are staying the week and they're camping out and somebody forgot the matches, we're not going to give them matches.
Right.
We're going to teach them how to work around it, but they'll always remember to check the next time. That's that character building moment.
Yeah, I like it. What firearms do they use, or do you get those donated, or?
Use a lot of rimfire because you're working with kids, and 22 is, well, I would say 22 is cheap, but nothing's cheap anymore. But do a lot of rimfire work. A lot of the gun stores in the area have been very helpful.
Cool.
Liberty Gun and Pawn in Pennington Gap, Virginia has been an amazing help in helping us acquire the things we need to deliver all these programs. Great guys up there. Adam Barnes, rock star in my world. Adam and his crew are amazing. I bet Adam probably, looks away when he sees a Facebook message from me. He knows he's got to do something. I need you to find this. And while you're at it, can you find 5 magazines to go with it?
Oh God.
Yeah. I need it by Tuesday, in the middle of a pandemic. So, but they've been great. They're wonderful guys up there. It's been really neat to see how fast people who had an outdoor experience as a kid reconnect to programs like ours in the outdoors. Man, it's just fun to be at camp. You've been there.
Yep. It's
beautiful. It's fun. That's my background photo. There's a photo from this past fall. What better environment to shape young people into the people we want them to be than to put them in a beautiful environment, surround them with nature, get them off the couch, get them off the phone, and get them outside.
Yep. And you provide everything. You make it really easy to run these camps where they've got a place to stay. They're there for, like you said, a week. They've got food. You got the dining hall. I mean, it's all set up for them.
Plug and play. Grab your pillow and a sleeping bag and come to camp.
I love it. So for those listening, and I think this is really important, how can our community or even the larger shooting community help you with these youth camps? Are there things that you need, tools, supplies? Like I said,
absolutely.
What do you need?
The biggest thing we need are adult mentors. We need people to come out and work with kids, connect with them. Not everybody can take every day off in the summer to come and help. But if everybody takes one day, then we're great. And so definitely reach out. We're not hard to find. Just Google search Camp Davy Crockett. And you'll find me and my contact info, and just send an email, give me a phone call, come to camp one day. We're there all summer, and we'll find a way for you to connect. And especially this fall, when we start providing classes, there'll be a lot of promotion around those classes for people to come out and learn. One of the things we've discovered in our community is when you grow up in Northeast Tennessee, you assume everybody knows how to use a firearm. Well, there's a lot of adults that don't. And so we're going to start doing some basic introduction to firearms classes.
Awesome.
Help parents get more comfortable with what they're curious about.
Right. And for those listening too, Davy Crockett's got the new USPSA community too. So
Crockett Pioneer Shooting Club. Look for us on Practice School.
Love it. Yeah. So how can people find you on social media, Greg, or connect with you if they want to reach out after this podcast?
Sure. Instagram. I am Vols fan in JC. For a Vols fan in Johnson City, born and raised here in this area, went to University of Tennessee. It's hard not to fall in love with the Volunteers, although they let us down at most opportunities. But I'm on Instagram, Vols fan in JC, or just I'm on Facebook, Greg Leitch, Leitch, easy to find. Let's connect. Let's do some great things. And we love to see you guys out on our range.
Love it. Thanks for being on the podcast. I love your giving heart. I will see you at the camp in a couple of weeks if I'm still on board. So
sounds great. Kenzie, you're a rock star. Thank you.
Thanks for being on. For those listening, tune in next week.
Thanks for listening to the Reticle Up podcast. Be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Follow along on social media at Reticle Up or 3 Gun Kenzie.